I got the wrong title on this motherfucker. Motherfucker. What up, chat? What's happening? Hey, man, can I do this at the same time? Hold up. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the family out there. Hope you're having a blessed day, beautiful day. Hope the sun is shining and you're appreciating. I'm gonna get straight to it so I can get straight out of it. How do I start? Okay, so you know, I'm pretty sure people have heard the term. It's a distraction. This is a distraction. That's a distraction. Everything's a fucking distraction. And a lot of this shit really is, right? Well, a lot of bullshit has gone under the radar. And I don't want to say why aren't people talking about this, because people are talking about whatever they're talking about. That's their prerogative, that's their business, and that's what's happening. But certain things go past that have a significance, right? That's the best way to say it. And not everybody talks about it, which is okay too, because people talk about what they talk about. But the other day, I'm going through my news articles, my news apps, and I run across something not surprising, but at the same time, surprising, right? When you're not expecting something and it comes, expect the unexpected type, it's unexpected. So, to summarize, I'm going to show you guys as well, but to summarize before I show you guys what I'm talking about is, we have the Drake Kendrick, we have all the celebrities getting killed and shot, and basketball stars, the blah, 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 right? So, I'm looking at my news articles, and a white couple, a white man and a white woman, a married couple, adopted two black children and put them in chattel slavery. Let me say that shit again, bro. Because no, I'm sorry, but I don't see too many people talking about. I don't see anybody talking about it. Hopefully, they are. A white man and a white woman adopted two black children and forced them into slavery. Now, that specific conversation is important. That situation is important, but also knowing the historical relevance adds to the importance. So you have this white couple that took these two black children, adopted these two black children, and turned them into slaves without too many people knowing. Peep this out though. So they get arrested, they go to jail, they get blah blah blah. They had a bond of maybe 200,000, 500,000, something like that. They had multiple homes that they sold to get bail, and their bail was denied. Good. But as I read that, nice properties. They had three total homes. Now, as I'm reading this article, okay, you had children that you turned into slaves and you have multiple properties. How many times have you done this? And to what extent did their slavery that you put them in benefit to your 3 houses, your luxurious lifestyle? These are the questions I ask. Now, from that thought process, I go back to our celebrities, these white ass, pale skinned beasts that adopt black children. What's her name? Sharon Therese Sharon, a white actor, white actress. She adopted a black boy and turned him into a black girl. Madonna has a motherfucking black daughter that she adopted, and we know Madonna's a fucking freak, a fucking freak. We know she likes younger men. All of these things, and you understand that these cave beasts who adopt black children, you understand what they do with these kids is whatever the fuck they want. You know, Charisse Theron or whatever her name is, like I said, she turned her son into a daughter. This is not who he is, but he's under a cave person. So of course she's gonna be a beast to him too. Madonna, the same thing. I think it's Sandra Bullock and a couple more. Anyway, so this is how my mind works. When these black children get adopted by these cave people, these type of things happen. So I'm gonna show you this video. Make sure to hit the like and all that, but I'm gonna show you this video, and it's gonna break down what they did. I made sure to record the clip, the whole clip. It's almost 3 minutes. Check this out, and then give me feedback if you have some.
Investigators believe they targeted these children specifically from a shelter because they were black, forcing them to work as slaves.
Being charged with a felony, child neglect, creating risk of injury.
The 2 children were being locked in a barn at this home on Cheyenne Lane in Sissonville.
They weren't able to locate any guardians or parental figures or anybody around the residence or the barn, and started having a conversation with 2 children that were inside the barn.
Deputies eventually forced their way into the barn, where they said they found a 16-year-old girl and 14-year-old boy inside a 20 by 14-foot room. Investigators say the teens had no way to get out of the shed, with no running water, no bathroom. The girl told deputies their parents had brought them food around 6 o'clock that morning, but said her and her brother weren't allowed in the house and were locked in the barn for long periods every day. Eyewitness News spoke to neighbors who were afraid to go on camera, but claim multiple families called police about the children's safety several times, and they are thankful they are now safe.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty bad case. I mean, it's in any type of situation like this, it's not really comparable. A horrific condition, like, it's just not how you want or how you would even expect children to be raised or been taken care of.
Lance and Whitefeather eventually showed up at the home. They're now charged with child neglect, creating substantial risk of injury. The mother admitted the children were left in the shed, but reportedly told deputies they, quote, liked it.
They're trying to, get the children back in better living conditions, better placement, and the detectives will continue to investigate and build this case.
And deputies said a 3rd child who was about 5 or 6 years old was found alone in the main home. Now, the child was found crying and close to the railing of an approximately 15-foot drop from a loft.
Bond was initially set at $200,000 cash, and they were both able to post it. Prosecutors have said in a new complaint for forfeiture, the couple sold a $725,000 80-acre ranch in Washington state and sold their Sissonville home to post bond. And they believe both of these properties were paid for through trafficking. That will be decided in a separate court matter. But because of this, prosecutors say they found discrepancies in the financial affidavit Lance filled out for a court-appointed attorney, leading to a new charge on his indictment.
Okay, 5 children. Excuse me. First of all, you have 5 children. Okay, old enough comprehension level children, able to do for self, 14, 16. My thing is, how long was they there? When did you adopt them? Because I know what an abusive relationship looks like. I know when a person fears somebody else, they don't want to do anything. I understand all of that. My question is, when did you adopt these children? Because if I'm able-bodied, I understand. If I'm able-bodied, I'm getting the fuck out of there. If I have one person with me that's close to my age, we're getting out of there. So that lets me know that these children were abused in many ways. Obviously, they were abused, but I'm speaking on what they've been going through before they were saved. Pretty much, they're in a fucking barn. Now, this takes me back to actual slavery. Right, right. So this takes me back to actual slavery. These motherfuckers had these children in real life slave conditions. They get fed at 6 o'clock. Who the fuck eats at 6 o'clock other than old people? I know nobody's really talking about it. And I didn't want to put that on any platform to be like, you should have been talking about it. But there is nobody talking about this. We're talking about Drake and Kendrick and Julio Fulio getting murdered. And we're talking about shit that's like, bro, who gives a fuck? But at the same time, I respect everybody's platform. I'm starting to come around to presenting myself in a manner where people don't think that just because I'm talking about it, everybody else has to talk about it. Not at all. But $725,000 bond. They had an 80-acre property. Now, it's just how my mind works, y'all. 80 acres, multiple homes. They had to have been doing this other places. They had to have been doing this other places. This leads me into the system of selling slaves. I'm almost 100% in in in, in knowing that it just numbers situations that go hand in hand. So when you look into which yeah, of course. We want to talk about Diddy. We want to talk about Julio Fulio. We want to talk about the next stupid motherfucker that gets murdered for doing stupid shit themselves. We want to talk about celebrities that don't matter, don't know you, don't give a fuck about you, but everybody wants to hear about it. Meanwhile, we got these cave beasts taking our kids, celebrity cave beasts taking our kids and putting them into weirdest fucking situations, turning boys to girls, girls to boys, a bunch of weird shit that we don't talk about. But to my point, when you look into, and I did, and I have, and I had a whole presentation. I'm like, no, I'll just talk to my folks. When you look into the history, the origins, not the history, the origins of foster care. When you look into the origins of of adoptions, when you go way back to Charles Brace, see, I gave you a source right there. You see how smooth I just did that? When you go back to Charles Brace, the Brace train, when you go to these things, pretty much to summarize, I'm going to nutshell it for you guys so you could just study up. You'll hear my checkpoints. You'll probably find everything I'm telling you about. There's a gentleman named Charles Brace, and this is going on 1859 to 1929. They exported, I'm saying it nicely, they exported about 250,000 children. Most of those children were Irish, and they sent those Irish children, those homeless children, those familyless children into, this is what they did. They sent them to families. That's the cover. That's the yeah, that's the cover. That's what they want you to, see. But these families, what these families did, this is New York, 1859 to 1929. Once again, I'm giving you numbers, dates, names, places, everything you need as a motherfucking reference to show and prove my work. Well, they took these kids and sent them to families right? But these families wasn't families. These families was taking these children and putting them into slavery. And a lot of them died, abused, malnourished. And so they put them on trains. This is the trains, right? And so you get to the foster homes. The foster homes wasn't nothing but fucking slave homes for Catholic families. So they would take these kids and they throw them into slavery. Now, remind you, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Niggas got to let go of that slavery, oh, woe is me shit. You got to. Because there's a thing called white niggers. I paused right there so motherfuckers could comprehend what the fuck I just said. They were called white niggers. Yes, white people was called Negroes. I'm sorry to tell you, cut it out. So when you study that it was mostly, not all, but mostly Irish put into slavery. The way my mind works and operates is, okay, I took the origins, the history, I updated it to now. We can go back a little further to when white women, white slave master women, would take black children. That's what they did. They would fuck the daddy. We all know this. And if they had sons, they'd fuck the son, turn the son out. So you can imagine how many different fucking things these cave beasts been doing to the children that they quote unquote. Remember, adoption is just a cover word for slavery, indentured servitude, whatever floats your fucking boat. So these two cave beasts had 5 children on a fucking farm with no windows or anything. That should automatically take you back and understanding how this shit works. All this shit was benefit for money, nothing else. The origins was for money. Nowadays, you get a fucking adopted child, you get a whole bunch of money. This is all they're doing. And they breed these little motherfuckers and they find more of these little kids and they keep doing it and they keep doing it and they keep doing it. So when I seen that these bitches had multiple properties on acres of land with farms and shit on it, even though they didn't express it and explain it, I put myself in that situation so I could watch what would be happening. Like I envisioned the type of shit they went through. And I could only imagine for a 16 and a 14-year-old. At 16, I would have beat your ass or probably tried to kill you or some shit just to escape. And that's by myself. So if I have another, because you're not catching, neither one of you catching this. You're old white people at that. Old white people at that. I'm dipping on you, bro. So the fact that they didn't fight or run helped me understand the extent of abuse that these kids went through. 5 black children. You could have made slaves out of any fucking child you wanted because that was your intention in the first place. You could have got you some white kids, some Mexican kids, some brown kids, some yellow kids, some blue kids, some dark black blurple kids. I don't give a fuck. Point is, you specifically went to these quote unquote orphan homes, quote unquote orphan homes. Remember these terms, adoption, orphan, these 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 terms are just cover terms. Your whole life you've been lied to. You think adoption just means adoption, orphan just means fucking orphan. A lot of those motherfucking orphans in the past that I was telling you about died because of the wet nurses, because they would get them as babies, and they would breastfeed these little children, but disease was running rampant with these kids. You gotta understand, these kids was homeless, dirty, dusted, and busted, stealing, whatever they can do to survive type kids. But the wet nurses was just slanging titty to every baby. And you know the caveman is unsanitary as fuck in the first place. The white man and the white woman are the dirtiest motherfuckers on the planet. Always have been. This ain't King Oz trying to be a dick about nothing. No, this is just historical facts. Ain't shit to do with me. Ain't got shit to do with me. So they just slanging titty to any baby any child being dirty themselves. So a lot of these kids died from diseases, from the titty, from the dirty motherfucker they had to feed off of. So, hold on. Peter Way, peace, peace. Monique, peace, peace. You know, I'm just doing what I do best, man. I'm listening, driving. Motherfuckers still understand. Leave these cave motherfuckers alone, bro. But hey, to each his own. You wanna fuck with a whole separate species of humankind? Go ahead, pimp. Go ahead. You dirty dick bitch, but go ahead. It is what it is. Wonder if they did deep background checks. They couldn't have. But at the same time, SLK, I just gave you the history. Listen to me, pimp. I just gave you the history of these motherfuckers, the whole orphan adoption shit. I gave you the whole history, right? These weren't black folks who ran these organizations. These was cave people. So they don't have to do a background check because the motherfucker who's giving up the kids is in on the play. They in on the play. Listen, they are in on the play. Why do you think these motherfuckers would give black children to celebrity white kids? Knowing what's gonna happen. Knowing that these kids are about to be physically, mentally, and emotionally abused and reprogrammed. These little cave motherfuckers go into this building, right? Let me walk you through how this shit go. So the night before they go to go pick up a child or go, isn't it crazy? Listen to this. Isn't this crazy? Listen to what I'm about to say in the topic that we're talking about. Put them together yourself. I can go, listen, I can go into a building, anywhere. I can go into a building. I could talk to whoever the fuck is at the main table, at the main desk, whatever. Say, hey, listen to this wording I'm about to say. Listen close to the wording that I'm about to use. I can go into this building and say, hey, I want to pick a kid to have. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Did you hear how I said that? Okay, cool. Now let's reverse back into history. We reversing back into history. I'm going this way because we reversing. Okay, so now I'm a white man. I can go up to a farm in history. I can go up to a farm. I can go downtown, wherever the fuck, and pick which slave I want. It's the same shit. So what these white people do, the night before they go pick a motherfucker, they call the motherfuckers they're getting it from. The Worldwide Adoption Agency. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But anyway, hey, this is Will. Can I talk to Richard? Hey, Richard, I was glad to see you at dinner yesterday. The wife says, what's up? These niggas is close, right? Hey, yeah, you got any good niggers in there? And you know, Richard, what kind you looking for? We got tall, small, fat, skinny. Got smart, stupid. Got babies. Which one you want? And they put price tags on these motherfuckers, these children. I say motherfuckers for everything. Don't take it to heart. And they put price tags on these bitches. And these motherfuckers go in there and be like, okay, I need one with a strong back. I need one that's good at math. I need one that's going to be a basketball star. We're going to stay away from the motherfucker who want to be a rapper. Fuck him. You see how this works? The whole they're all in on the play. Why? Because the adoption agency gets the money. The motherfuckers who adopted get some more money off of these kids. This is just, you got to know the history of the adoption, the foster care. You have to know that this was all to create and make and breed and buy slaves. So these two rat bastards bought some motherfucking kids, had a whole bunch of motherfucking property, and decided, you know, we can really make some money off of this because we get paid per head for every child adopted. Plus, we put them into slavery. We're going to make profit off of their labor alone, and they're so young, they're not going to fight back. Doesn't this remind you of the education system as well? Doesn't this remind you of the religious fuckery as well? It just should this shit all ties in, bro. The world is waking up. They can't do nothing with us no more. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Who was that? Who said that? Graylin. Shout out to you, Graylin. Yeah, I do what I do, pimp. I do what I do, bro. You're not gonna get it like this nowhere else because I don't give a fuck. But I don't know. It like I said at the beginning of this live stream, it didn't surprise me. It was just unexpected for me to see that when I'm going through my news articles. Once again, I'm gonna play it one more time, because I wanted to soak in. Listen to the wording. See, the key to understanding a lot of this shit is realizing the spells of words, because a motherfucker used a certain word for a reason. The way they word things for a reason. So check this out one more time.
Investigators believe they targeted these children specifically from a shelter because they were black, forcing them.
Time out. You heard that? Slow it down. Slow that shit down. You heard what they said, right? What did they do? They targeted. That means they sat the fuck back, took their time, chose what type of slaves they wanted. Man, come on, man. Listen to this shit.
Investigators believe they targeted these children specifically from a shelter because they were black, forcing them to work as slaves.
Being charged with a felony, child neglect, creating risk of injury.
The two children were being locked in a barn at this home on Cheyenne Lane in Sissonville.
They weren't able to locate any guardians or parental figures or anybody around the residence or the barn, and started having a conversation with two children that were inside the barn.
Deputies eventually forced their way into the barn, where they said they found a 16-year-old girl and 14-year-old boy inside a 20 by 14-foot room. Investigators say the teens had no way to get out of the shed, with no running water, no bathroom. The girl told deputies their parents had brought them food around 6 o'clock that morning, but said her and her brother weren't allowed in the house and were locked in the barn for long periods every day. Eyewitness News spoke to neighbors who were afraid to go on camera, but claim multiple families called police about the children's safety several times, and they are thankful they are now safe.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty bad case. I mean, it's in any type of situation like this, it's not really comparable. A horrific condition, like, it's just not how you want or how you would even expect children to be raised or been taken care of.
Lance and Whitefeather eventually showed up at the home. They're now charged with child neglect, creating substantial risk of injury. The mother admitted the children were left in the shed, but reportedly told deputies they, quote, liked it.
They're trying to, get the children back in better living conditions, better placement, and the detectives will continue to investigate and build this case.
And deputies said a third child who was about 5 or 6 years old was found alone in the main home. Now, the child was found crying and close to the railing of an approximately 15-foot drop from a loft.
Bond was initially set at $200,000 cash, and they were both able to post it. Prosecutors have said in a new complaint for forfeiture, the couple sold a $725,000 80-acre ranch in Washington state and sold their Sissonville home to post bond. And they believe both of these properties were paid for through trafficking. That will be decided in a separate court matter. But because of this, prosecutors say they found discrepancies in the financial affidavit Lance filled out for a court-appointed attorney, leading to a new charge on his indictment.
All right, how you turn that shit off? All right. So I just thought about something else. Too. Okay, so two things actually. There was a discrepancy. I hate that fucking word. Discrepancy in his finances when they were trying to handle their business. That's because a lot of that money, I guarantee, came off the backs of these children. They was profiting from these kids, and that's where the discrepancy come in, and that's gonna fuck them up even later in the case. I just know these things. I just know these fucking things, right? Second thing, which is probably the more important one out of those two, 16, 14, 5, and however old the other two were. Okay. They didn't go to school. Think about that. They didn't go to school. Even if they did, we got to think on both aspects of that. They didn't go to school. Okay, well, if they didn't go to school, they're already registered at living at this place. People know they are here. The school knows they're here. All these people know they're here. If 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 they didn't go to school, I know they wasn't educated because they were slaves. You don't educate slaves. So if they didn't go to school, but the district knows these children exist, why nobody talk, why nobody from the education system come meet them or anything, right? Okay, so that's my first thought on that. If they did go to school, nobody noticed that these kids was a little fucked up. Nobody noticed the emotional, maybe blockers or responses these kids have, the emotional, the mental, none of this, none of this. I don't give a fuck that the caveman said that they thought the kids enjoyed it and were okay with it. That's just manipulation. That's just regular average Joe manipulation, right? These are the things I'm thinking about because I'm going to follow up on this story. But just based off of everything that they've shown and talked about so far, I mean, these cave beasts are cooked. They're cooked. But I still want them to address certain things. The education. I want to know about that. Because depending on what or what not will give me an understanding of why nobody checked on them. The motherfucking neighbors who said they kept calling the cops, fuck them too. I know it ain't your business what goes on in another motherfucker's house, but that's only if it deals with a grown ass person. When it comes to child, I'll kick your door in for a kid type shit. When because you called the cops supposedly a whole bunch of motherfucking times because you seen these kids was getting mistreated. Why you ain't step up and nut up? Because when you look at the cave beasts, them two motherfuckers, the woman and man, they can't fight, they can't run, they can't do shit. They look like they're just like bitch out. So now I gotta say fuck the neighbors because I'm a good man. But if I endangered my children and the neighbors knew about it, if I was a fly on the wall, I would expect somebody to come and check on these kids, regardless of what I said. Nigga, let me see what the kids is looking like today. You know, when I was a younger person, the neighbors checked on the kids. When my mom used to go to work and it used to be me watching my sister, the neighbor would come check on us. We had the neighbor's number. I know the kids didn't have access to it. But the point is, the neighbors, the community, the tribe, they used to come, knock on the door, make sure you're good, have lunch for you, or a drink, or tell you to come over type shit. Now, these is rich white people. So I'm. It just makes me feel like the neighbors was in on it too. Fuck it. The neighbors had to know what's going on. You had to know. You don't see these kids come out this fucking barn all day and you think that's normal? And you know it's just a regular motherfucking barn. It ain't a setup with carpet and TVs and couches and bed. It's not that setup. You knew that. These are your neighbors. So, these cave people, these cave beasts, I tell you, bro, I tell you. These the same motherfuckers we send our kids to go study from and learn from and get good grades from and pray to. And oh my gosh, bro, it's ridiculous. And I can't say why didn't a black couple adopt them. I can't say that because we don't know who they adopted, right? We don't know if there was a black family of ed. We don't know those things. We just know what's in front of us, and we can only go off that. So I can't be too out of my pocket and be like, what about them? What did it? No, can't do that. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I have another live stream uh, that I want to do. I already got it set up on my StreamYard and shit, but I don't know if I want to do that openly or for members only. I'm not sure yet. because that one get deep. That one get real deep, and we got to talk about it. So, family, I appreciate y'all tapping in. I don't like to keep y'all too long. I'm gonna hit y'all with some facts. I'm gonna hit y'all with some truth. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna get you to think, and I'm gonna smile because that's all I want. That's it. I just want y'all to think about things. We too worried about celebrities that don't fucking matter, bro. As adults, it should rub you. You should feel as a man. Let me say this: as a man, and you have a platform, you shouldn't be talking about niggas all day. That should feel weird to you. Because in real life, I'm in real life. I'm in real life. I don't talk about men too much. Feels weird, especially motherfuckers that don't know me. So once again, to all the platforms that talk about celebrities all goddamn day, shout out to you, pimp. Could you try to slide in some shit that's worthwhile though? Could you try to slide in some value to your platform? That's all. You ain't got to talk about the shit I'm talking about. But instead of talking about celebrities that don't matter, that you shouldn't even be talking about another nigga anyway. But even if you do, can you kind of try to slide in some worthwhile shit? This is for any platform and every platform, every single one of the platforms. I know it's fun talking about who killed who. I know it's fun. It's easy to get viewers. It's so easy to get viewers doing that. I understand. It's all about the views, the watch time, the hours, making money. I get it. I get it. But I have a responsibility to the people. I've always had a responsibility to the people. The moment I understood and knowledge was born, I had a responsibility to bring y'all some food for thought. You see how the views go down when I say that? Ooh, the proof is in the pudding. I love it. I fucking love it. They're like, oh, that's enough. He's trying to tell us to learn some shit. We'll talk about important shit. Don't want to hear that. But that's all I'm saying, family. I'm always going to bring you something to think about. I'm always going to give you something to be like, hey, I just learned something new. And now I'm on the path to learn it even more. That's all I want. As men, we have to set an example. Bitches gossip. That's for the females. Let the females gossip. Men, we have to be the lead example. What the fuck we need to be. A man ain't talking about other niggas every day. A man ain't talking about how real he is, how fake everybody else is. That's not what niggas is supposed to be doing. We have to lead by example. And let's lead with knowledge. Let's lead with a mind. A black man with a sharp mind and that's for his people is a dangerous motherfucker. I'm telling you that. Not how many guns you got, not what color you rep, none of that. None of that matters. When the world sees that the black man will stand up, has a mind on him, and is for his people, he becomes a threat. Let's continue to be threats, y'all. Scientists, that's why I say be a scientist, to know, to study to know. That's what a scientist is. It's nothing fancy about it. So I gave y'all dates, 1859 to 1929. I gave you names, Charles Brace. And this is just one step to understanding this whole live stream. I gave you a place, New York. Take those three references, Google them up, Google the fuck out of them, and study. And you'll be like, damn, foster care, orphans, adoption. That's all code words for slavery, bro. Oof, okay. So now we need to, you know, we need to look into that. Why do these white celebrities adopt black children and then turn them backwards? Why do they do? Why they couldn't get a white kid? Oh, because there's not so many black parents getting black. That's bullshit. Once again, foster care. I'm telling you a fact. This is not me just talking. Foster care, adoption These are words for slavery, terms of slavery. Buying people, making money off people. That's slavery, bro. With that being said, be on the lookout.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Because it's coming back. And one more time, just to leave you with it.
Investigators believe they targeted these children specifically from a shelter because they were black, forcing them to work as slaves.
Being charged with a felony, child neglect, creating risk of injury.
The two children were being locked in a barn at this home on Cheyenne Lane in Sissonville.
They weren't able to locate any guardians or parental figures or anybody around the residence or the barn, and started having a conversation with two children that were inside the barn.
Deputies eventually forced their way into the barn, where they said they found a 16-year-old girl and 14-year-old boy inside a 20 by 14-foot room. Investigators say the teens had no way to get out of the shed, with no running water, no bathroom. The girl told deputies their parents had brought them food around 6 o'clock that morning, but said her and her brother weren't allowed in the house and were locked in the barn for long periods every day. Eyewitness News spoke to neighbors who were afraid to go on camera, but claim multiple families called police about the children's safety several times, and they are thankful they are now safe.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty bad case. I mean, it's in any type of situation like this, it's not really comparable. A horrific condition, like, it's just not how you want or how you would even expect children to be raised or being taken care of.
Lance and Whitefeather eventually showed up at the home. They're now charged with child neglect, creating substantial risk of injury. The mother admitted the children were left in the shed, but reportedly told deputies they, quote, liked it.
They're trying to, get the children back in better living conditions, better placement, and the detectives will continue to investigate and build this case.
And deputies said a third child who was about 5 or 6 years old was found alone in the main home. Now, the child was found crying and close to the railing of an approximately 15-foot drop from a loft.
Bond was initially set at $200,000 cash, and they were both able to post it. Prosecutors have said in a new complaint for forfeiture, the couple sold a $725,000 80-acre ranch in Washington state and sold their Sissonville home to post bond. And they believe both of these properties were paid for through trafficking. That will be decided in a separate court matter. But because of this, prosecutors say they found discrepancies in the financial affidavit Lance filled out for a court-appointed attorney, leading to a new charge on his indictment.
With that being said, family, I love y'all. That's all I do. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all smile. Y'all know there's more important shit going on in the world than these fuck-ass rappers, these fuck-ass sports athletes, actors, all of them motherfuckers. Fuck them. Love y'all. This is peace. Don't do this shit no more. Don't do pictures. You want to look cool. Do this. This is peace. This ain't it. This ain't it, pimp. That being said, I'm gone.